If you're anything like me, one of your favorite things about ARPGs is the level of fiddling and tinkering that you are enabled. To me, this even applies to item filters, which can have a huge impact on your gameplay, both positively and negatively. I, as well as most people I imagine, use never sync presets. Maybe we tweak one or two things and call it a day. Recently, my desire to tinker led me to spend hours of my life making my own filter completely from scratch, but I will probably only end up with a result no better than if I just used filterblade in the first place. So clearly, my path was set. I opened up the filter documentation, a blank text file, and started off on my journey. The structure of a filter file is pretty simple. The file is composed of blocks, where each block can show or hide some set of items that match the given conditions, and give it some styling. Seems simple enough. Here is the start of a filter that I came up with, but even after only a few filter blocks, almost immediately I started to see some problems. The biggest problem is how much I was copy-pasting lines. If you have any experience as a programmer, you know that this is generally considered not good, as it makes changing specific values very difficult and prone to inconsistencies. In this example, if I want to change the overall text size, I have to Control F for the value I want to change and replace it with a new one. This quickly becomes not scalable, especially once you start to add multiple different text sizes. I also tried building some sort of color palette by pasting RGB values into comments so I could reference them and create an aesthetic that I liked. This again becomes quickly hard to scale. If I want to tweak these values after I've already created the filter, it becomes very difficult. As a programmer, we want to try and use different layers of abstraction to make our code easier to read and change in the future. For non-programmers, this just means we want a way to represent common functionality once and then use it in many places. Enter filter. That's with a PH because I'm Phil. Project GitHub, download link, and resources will all be in the description below. Filter allows the user to define and reference variables, allowing for easy tweaking of values. We begin by simply running the installer and creating a file of .filter, again with a PH. Variables can be defined like this, with a $sign at the start of the variable name and whatever instructions you'd like contained in the brackets. These values can then be inserted into your file at "compile time" by referencing a variable starting with a %sign. Variable definitions can contain references to other variables as well, creating a pretty powerful system. To the example from earlier, we can create a single text size variable that is used in many places. We can also create a color palette defined as a set of variables as well. This allows us to then change any of the variables that will affect many different items. You can convert to a path-of-exile.filter by right-clicking the file and selecting convert to .filter. Then you can import to path-of-exile by placing the file in the filter directory or upload to path-of-exile.com. This has been Filter, and if you have any issues, questions, or comments, feel free to make a ticket in the Discord channel, on the GitHub page, or even just a comment on the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you were able to learn something, and happy tinkering.